Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a card using some watercolor techniques along with die cutting. So I'm going to be using the Memory Box. It's like a leaf die, I'm not really sure what the name is. It is the large Mary Anna leaf outline die. So I have some Coordinations 110-pound cardstock that I'm going to be die cutting it out of. And first I am going to use some distress markers. These are just some of the green colors, the forest moss, pine needles, and then the gathered or bundled sage. So I'm just coloring onto my craft sheet, getting a little bit of the ink on there. And then I have a water brush that I'm just picking up the ink and applying it to my paper. The reason I have the 110-pound cardstock is because when you're watercoloring, you want a really heavy-duty cardstock or watercolor paper so that it doesn't warp your paper very much. So I'm just kind of combining some of the colors and applying them in any way that I like, just so that the final outcome is something that I like. I'm just going to clean up my craft sheet and my brush. And then once it's dry enough, I'm going to take the die and place it on there and then attach it with some washi tape so that it stays in place while I'm die cutting it. So then I'm going to take my Cricut out, or not my Cricut, my Cuttlebug. Cricut wouldn't do me much good. And I'm going to run it through and die cut it. And then when you take it off, you want to keep all the little insides of the leaves because we're going to be reusing those. So you don't want to lose them in the process of getting it out of your die. And once I get them out, I'm just going to set them all aside so that I can keep track of them. And then the outline part, we're actually not going to be using that for this card, so you could save it for a different card. And then I have a piece of green Coordinations cardstock, and I'm going to run my die through that one more time because that is the outline that I'm going to be using for this card. So you could actually make a card with the insides of the green cardstock and the outline of the watercolored piece, so it'd just be opposite of the card that I'm making. And that outline is a little hard to get out, so I had to use my tweezers to help that. Okay, and then I'm going to attach that part down to my card base, which is a craft card base. And then something I didn't do, which I should have, is put adhesive behind all those little flaps so that they stay down because they were wanting to pop up. So I just took my Zig pen and applied a little adhesive behind all of them. And once that's glued down, I'm going to take my Zig Glue Away 2 pen, or two-way glue pen, I said that wrong, and adhere the outline part right into where it is supposed to be or where it fits inside the outline of the watercolored piece. And then I'm going to try to match all of the insides to where they go into the leaves. And some of them were a little tricky because they looked like they fit in there, but I could tell with the watercolored pieces that they weren't in the right spot. So you might want to lay them all out first before adhering them down just in case they're in the wrong spot. And then I had two of them switched around, so I just went ahead and flopped those two and then added my last one in. Okay, and then I had the banner die from Simon Says Stamp in My Mind's Eye that I die cut out of white cardstock, and I also used the U die that I cut out of a gray Coordinations cardstock. So I'm just going to pick the sentiment that I want, and it says, "Will be missed." And I'm going to stamp that right onto the banner, and I'm going to leave it straight. You can curve the stamps to go with the banner, but I decided to just leave it straight. And then first fold the sides, and then you can glue down the die cut piece. And you just want to put glue on the parts that will be touching the die cut so that it doesn't stick to other places. And then I have some 3D foam squares that I put in the middle of the die. And then I place a little adhesive, liquid adhesive, on the outsides of the banner, and I'm going to place that right towards the middle on the bottom of the card. And I just hold it in place for a few seconds to make sure that it's stuck, and then I have some white opal liquid pearls, and I'm going to add a few of those onto the card front to finish off my card. Alright, that's my completed card for today. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.